Hey everyone, what's going on? Caesar Quick, your marriage coach with having healthy marriages and relationships. Hope everybody is doing well. It's Sunday morning here, and I have another great topic I want to discuss with y'all, and it's called putting the work in. Putting the work in. And what I mean by putting the work in is that marriages and relationships require work, guys. It's no secret, right? No secret that they require work. And I just want to bring a perspective to you today and hopefully coach y'all on this and hopefully, you you guys learn something from it or get something from it that's of value. But we're going to talk about putting the work in. Marriages and relationships are a huge responsibility. And a couple things I'm going to touch on is you got to put your marriage, your relationship on the top of the priority list, guys. Next to God, of course, your prayer life should be first, okay? Your time with God should be first, but second should be your marriage. Now, your relationship, if you're not married yet, that's going to be a slightly different curve on that. But I'm gonna talk about marriage. The marriages first. You're married, guys. Your marriage needs to have the top priority. And you got to understand that marriage is a huge blessing, but it's also a huge responsibility. And when you committed to your husband, your wife, your spouse, you committed to be there for them in sickness and in health, for better or worse, right? You got to go back and remember your marriage vows, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health. And marriage vows, guys, was something that I always took very seriously. I honor God with my marriage. I try to honor God with my marriage. And I've always taken my vows very seriously because you said those vows in front of God. You said those vows in front of many witnesses. And you got to understand how important the vows are. So the vows say that you're going to, you're going to be there in those bad times, in those good times. And you got to understand, y'all, that it's going to be struggles in marriage. It's going to be trials. It's going to be ups and downs. Anybody that's been married for any length of time understands that. So back to the work part, guys. Work in your marriage isn't something, I'm not talking about work like, well, I am and I'm not. I'm not talking about you work on your job or you're working towards this. When I say work, I'm talking about more so effort, okay? Effort. So work in marriage is, you guys, you're going to have to be able to make compromises. You're going to have to be willing to make sacrifices. You know what I mean? It can't be strictly about you. It's got to be, you have to think with your spouse in mind all the time when you're married. And for single people, newlyweds, that might be a little bit of a transition for you, but you have to think and you have to think with your spouse in mind. What do they like? How can you cater to them? How can you serve them? It's going to take, you guys getting used to your spouse, of course, and those of you that have been married for, for any number of years, you have an idea of what your spouse likes, so you should have an idea of your spouse's habits, their patterns, etc., etc. So work here, guys, is what is it going to take, to keep your marriage peaceful, to keep things, at ease. What is it that your spouse is asking for? What is it that you're asking for? Are you guys able to have those conversations? Are you able to communicate so that you both can get your point across? And that's going to mean sometimes husbands catering to your wives, listening to them, really listening to them now, not just listening to the game and blocking them out, but really listening to them and understanding what their needs are. Because the more you're able to listen and deliver, the better response you're going to get, both ways, from your husband or from your wife. So the work here, guys, is really the effort here. You got to put the effort in to communicate. You got to put the effort in to be patient. You got to put the effort in to listen. You got to put the effort in to care. Because honestly, marriages are about caring and serving. And the more you can do both of those, the better off your marriage is going to run properly and smoothly. And I'm not talking about it being one-sided, guys, because it does have to be reciprocated, and we know that one person alone cannot do it in their marriage. So husbands and wives, you gotta be attentive, because at the end of the day, marriages break down because somebody's not listening, because somebody doesn't care, guys. Somebody stops caring. They stop doing the things that they did at first, and they stop pursuing their mates. So you can't never stop pursuing your mate. Your marriage, you guys should always be in a dating and a courting phase. So you dated to get them, right? You dated them to get to know them, to know that you wanted to be married to them, right? And then you courted them into your marriage. So the dating and courting in your marriage never stops, and that just simply means, guys, that you keep doing the things that you did to get them. Once you get in the marriage, it's not you hang up the towel and you put the marriage on stop. No, that's when you go all out, because that is your mate. That's your God-given mate, and you have an all-access pass to love on them and serve them and do all those great and wonderful things. So going back to putting the work in, guys, what does putting the work in means? It means, again, putting the effort in, having the desire. Marriages fail not because they just fail for any random reason. They fail because the husband or the wife, has either gotten to a point where they give up, they're hopeless, they're wanting you, they're hoping and praying, and they're wanting you, to do certain things. You know what I mean? They're wanting you to respond. They're wanting you to be responsive. Guys, your wives are wanting you to communicate. Biggest issue with men is communication, okay? You love your wife, right? You're supposed to be loving your wife like Christ loves the church. So you got to understand, you got to communicate with her. That's one of the ways you're showing her you love her, man. You got to communicate with her, Don't say she's just complaining, okay? And wives, you go easy on your husband, or go easy on your husband to be. You're trying to communicate something to him. You got to have the right attitude, okay? That's the pet peeve with y'all. You got to have the right attitude when you come to your husband, when you come to your man. Come with a smile. Bring the love first. Give him a hug. Give him a kiss. You know what I'm saying? Bring the honey, okay, before you bring the honey-do list. That's what I'm gonna tell y'all. Bring the honey before you bring the honey-do list. You're gonna get a completely different response from your husband. You're gonna get a completely different response from him. You gotta be sweet, ladies. You can't come with the attitude and the this, that, and the other. And I know y'all get frustrated. Believe me, I understand. But we gotta work it from both sides, because both husband and wife, both men and women have a responsibility. Okay, so guys, you got to be open. You got to listen to your wife. You got to listen to her, because honestly, if you're not listening to her, it's gonna come off as I don't care. That is how your lady is going to interpretate that. She's gonna say, it's gonna process through her head, he doesn't care, or the game is more important, or you being on your phone is more important. Any of the above. That's a whole nother different topic. So, putting in the work, guys. Putting in the work means listening. Putting in the work means you got the desire. Putting in the work means, look, baby, what do I got to do to show you I love you? How can I turn that into something tangible that you can feel and see? Because, guys, we can say that we love them all day long, but if the action is not backing up the words, it comes in one ear, goes out the other. So, putting in the work means putting in the effort. For those of you that are in a relationship, I hope you're in that relationship with the end goal to be marriage, okay? Because I'm gonna talk to y'all about that. I don't want you. You're in a relationship, man. You got to be ready to commit. And the commitment is marriage. So those of you in relationships, what are you doing? How can that man or woman know, that you're going to be a good spouse? Okay, you're giving them a preview while while you guys are still not married. You're in a preview stage. That's where you're at. So they want to know they can trust you. I hope they want to marry you, and I hope they have intentions on marrying you. Because they're already spending time with you. They're already doing a lot of things that married folk do. But with that being said, are you putting the work in now? Because if you're going to put the work in now, you're going to put it in later, and that's what that man or that woman is looking at right now. So it's important, guys, that you understand that, marriage is it's a beautiful thing, guys. It's a beautiful blessing, and the reason why it gets such a bad rap is because the people in the marriage have to take it seriously. You have to understand, just like your child's a responsibility, right? Your job is a responsibility. Your business is a responsibility, guys. What I see is everybody puts more priority and more attention on all of the other things, right? Their careers, this, that, and the other. Nah, you gotta put that you gotta give that marriage top priority. If you're planning on getting married, you gotta give that relationship, that's gotta be up there at number 2 as well. Because honestly, you're there to get married, and that person is previewing, and like I was saying, whatever they see now is what they're going to get in that marriage. That's honestly what it's about, guys. That's honestly what's going to happen. So take your marriage seriously, guys. Take your relationship seriously, because you know what? Somebody is there. They're investing in you emotionally, financially, physically, and they're putting a lot on the line. Men and women are risking a lot for love. I mean, who wouldn't? I did it. I completely understand it. I'm a hopeless romantic for my wife. I try to be, because I have I have my Christian morals and values, which keep me grounded with that. But guys, you got to put that work in, man. There's no relationship that's going to come with ease. Your spouse, your mate, they got their own personality. They got their own difference. They got their own way they see things. You know what I mean? So now you guys have to find a way to bring that together, and that's going to take work. But if you have the desire and you have the effort, I guarantee you, if your spouse or spouse-to-be sees that you're making an effort, they're going to work with you. If they want that marriage to work, they're going to work with you. They're going to put the work in. And guys, the work could mean, take out your Bible, do a Bible study. Guys, take your lady and do a Bible study. Do something different. I mean, do something that's going to bring a good return back into that marriage or relationship. Do something, spend quality time. Do something that's going to put the return back into that marriage. Because see, we get distracted with so many other things, and these things, honestly, they're either less of a priority or they don't bring any good return. And if we sit down and we think about, what am I doing that's bringing a return into my marriage? What am I doing that's bringing a return to the most important person in my life right now? We want our mates to feel, we got to get to a place that marriage it can either be the closest thing to heaven or the closest thing in the opposite direction, is what I tell people. And what makes a difference is, what type of effort are you putting in? What is your mate feeling? What do they feel when they're around you? What are you doing? And at the end of the day, guys, the good marriages from the not good so marriages is that the people are doing the work. They're making an effort, because love says, look, I'm making an effort. And it has to be from both sides, guys, because we can't have the imbalance that we can't have just one person doing the work. When you marry them, the commitment was for both people, not one. So guys, you can't let your lady do all the work. Ladies, you can't let your guy do all the work. If you need counseling, if you need this, if you need a marriage retreat, you got to get it done for the betterment of the marriage and for the betterment of your relationship. So this is Caesar Quick, your marriage coach, having healthy marriages and relationships. Guys, if you haven't subscribed already, just hit the subscribe button here on the YouTube. We got a website, Having Healthy Marriages and Relationships. You can go up and sign up for our free newsletter. We got a free audio series going right now on 5 steps to a phenomenal marriage. So go over to my website, grab that, subscribe here on the YouTube channel, and I'm gonna keep coming to you guys with some good stuff. All right, Caesar Quick out.